So let's proceed to question number 2. Question number 2A. It reads, analyze 6 internal control systems that a company should have in place to prevent and detect errors. Analyze 6 internal control systems that a company should have in place to prevent and detect errors. Here are the answers for them. The internal control system that a company should have in place to prevent and detect errors are, we're supposed to give them 6 of them. The first one is segregation of duties. Segregation of duties. When work duties are divided or segregated among different people to reduce the risk of errors or inappropriate action. Okay? When you want to reduce some errors or frauds in the company, you need to segregate duties to different people. You should not give a lot of work to one person, because when one person is given a lot of duties to carry on, this will lead a lot of straining by that person, and this will lead to some of the errors and a lot of errors, which is also a risk in the company. Another internal control system is physical controls. Physical controls. This is when the equipment and inventories or securities, cash and other assets are secured physically. Okay, this can occur through the use of locks and safes or other environmental controls. Access is then restricted to those with authority to handle all these physical tools. You should not leave the access to so many people to handle them, because this will bring a lot of errors. You should only choose a restricted person and give that person the authority to handle them. Another internal control is reconciliations. Reconciliations. Under reconciliation, we'll say or we'll explain, comparisons are made in reconciliations. Comparisons are made between similar records maintained by different people to verify transactions details, to verify if the transaction details are accurate and that all transactions are properly recorded. Okay, so these are different people or similar people performing similar records. Okay, they verify the details and make sure that the details are accurate and properly recorded. Specific example for this will include performing a reconciliation from bank statements to check the register or the records. Then another example is balancing or reconciling cash on hand to sales or transaction activity on the cash register totals. Another internal control is policies and procedures. Policies and procedures. There's some of the established policies and procedures and documentations that provide guidance and training to ensure consistent performance at a required level of quality. They should be available at all levels of organization. Okay, it's either departmental and university or organization wide. Okay. Another point is transaction and activity reviews. Another internal control is transactions and activity reviews. Here, the management reviews of transactions, operating and summary report helps to monitor performance against goals and objectives, spot problems, identify trends, and etc. Okay. Specific examples of these transactions and activity reviews are monthly review of budget statements to actual expenses, review of telecommunication. You can also call for activity reports for personal and business related phone calls, review of time cards and even overtime hours by employees. Okay. Another internal control is information processing controls. Information processing controls. When data is processed A variety of internal controls are performed to check the accuracy, completeness, and authorization of transactions. Data entered in are subject to edit checks or matching to approved control files or totals. Okay. Then numerical sequences of transactions are accounted for, and file totals are controlled and reconciled with prior balances and control accounts. Okay, I think those are the 6 controls that will be used or the company should put in place to prevent and detect errors. Can go to the other question, that is question number 2B. And it reads, your firm has been appointed as the auditor for ABC Limited that deals with the manufacturing of plastic products. The audit manager has assigned you a task of verification of inventory in the warehouse. The requirement: 1. Identify 4 audit objectives that you will seek to achieve in verification of inventory. Identify 4 audit objectives that you will seek to achieve in verification of the inventory. The 4 objectives include, the first objective is verifying physical existence. Verifying physical existence. As mentioned in several instances, the main objective of inventory audit is to verify the financial records with physical counts. While performing inventory audits, the auditors oversee the inventory counting process and check whether they are efficiently done. They pick a sample of a good to check whether the physical count of that good matches with the records or vice versa. Okay? When you're told to explain about that, that's what you say. Another point is another objective of inventory of verification of inventory is examining the accuracy of the process. Okay, an auditor uses statistics sampling method to examine whether the inventory counting system is done accurately. Okay, another objective is ownership rights. The objective of the inventory audit is also to determine whether the inventory recorded by the company is also owned by that company. Okay, that's the other objective. Another objective is evaluation of realizable value. Okay, the auditor will check whether the inventory recorded at the correct value in the general ledger. For the damaged or the low quality condition goods, the auditor checks if they are recorded at a reasonable value. Okay, I think that is through with the objectives. I've given you like 4 of them. Can go to the next question. That is question number B, Roman number 2, and it reads, suggest 6 challenges you are likely to encounter in verification of inventory. 6 challenges you are likely to encounter in verification of inventory. Here are the challenges. The first challenge is lack of inventory visibility. Okay, so here you can explain us, if you are unable to locate or identify stocks in your inventory, shipping products on time becomes very difficult, and this can dent your business reputation. Inventory that is complete or difficult to find is sure hamper to your bottom line. In fact, the most common reason for delayed wrong or partial shipments is difficulty of locating the identifying inventory in the warehouse. So when your inventory is not visible in the warehouse, this will bring delays and also bad name to your business. Okay, so even the customers will not feel happy because maybe they have an urgency and they need that inventory, and according to you, maybe it's not located where it is visible, and this is even a loss and a bad name to the company. So this one is a challenge. Lack of inventory visibility is really a big challenge to the organization. Another challenge is tracking obsolete material. Tracking obsolete material. There will be some products or material that remain unsold or unused in business or organization for a very long time until it passes their expiry date. This material or products tend to accumulate over time and they are mostly ignored by the inventory managers because they buy or they purchase a lot of new stock and they tend to ignore them or even forget about it. So the older one may remain in the warehouse for so long. It stays there for so long until it becomes very badly damaged, and it is being damaged completely. And this increases the expenses and material wastage. Okay. Another challenge is identifying incorrectly located materials. This one is also another inventory challenge, that is identifying incorrectly located materials. When there is no proper system to track products, materials or equipments in the store, it can be cumbersome and time consuming to find them when you have some sales orders. After all, a warehouse may typically store thousands of products. This can delay sales and make customers unhappy. Okay. Another challenge is changing demand. And here is how you'll explain it. Consumer demand is in a constant state of flux. This makes storing inventory very complicated. Okay, you'll think of how much to store. Can you store too much? And if you store too much, and you could end up with dead stock. Okay, or when you store too little, then you won't be able to fulfill customers' demand. So you should always go with the changing demands of the customer. You see, with what type of the inventory that customers needs a lot is when you store according to their order. And the ones which are not needed too much, you don't stop storing them. You just store them, and it should also be not too little. Because when it's too little, you won't be able to fulfill customers' demand. Another challenge is insufficient order management and poor production planning. If always there is a poor production planning, okay, this will bring the stoppages of production and cause budget overflows. Okay, if you don't plan it appropriately, your sales forecast can go wrong as you can project your scheduling. Thinking that there is sufficient stock and overselling product is a common challenge faced by many businesses. Another challenge is lack of expertise and poor communication. While every business would love to have inventory managers who are excellent communication and tech savvy, taking a new technology easily, and truth is that it rarely happens that way. Okay, so you should also have sufficient expertise and good communication in your company. Okay, and even when you install some of the system in your company, you should make sure that it will not cut if it's not used properly. Okay, So when those materials or systems are being installed in your company, you should make sure that they are properly used. If not properly used, this is also a loss or a challenge to the company. Okay, I think that one we have finished with it. Go to the next question. That is question number 2, part C. And it reads, during an audit assignment in a computerized environment, Ann Muhite suggests the use of dummy testing instead of live data testing required. Summarize 4 disadvantages of adopting dummy testing. 4 disadvantages of adopting dummy testing. One of the disadvantages is simulation problem. There are always difficulties in simulating the whole system when compared to that of live system. Okay. Another one is skill and knowledge required. A more detailed knowledge of the system is required than the use of live files. Okay. In dummy testing, they need a lot of knowledge of the system than when you are using the live files. Another disadvantage is time span problem. Time span problem is still difficult but more capable of resolution than live testing. Okay. The last one is uncertainty of system. There is uncertainty to whether operation programs are really being used for the test. Okay. Actually, when using the dummy system, there is uncertainty as to whether operations of those dummy system programs are really being used for the test. Okay, I think we are complete with question number 2.